Welcome to NST Focus. I'm Ken Kane. Happy holidays, weather permitting. It's the Northwest Senior Theater's next show. It's coming up November 19th to 22nd at 2 p.m. each day at Rise Church in Tigard. And today we're going to explore the show with its director. That's Jan Rosenthal. Jan, welcome to NST Focus.
Thank you.
Now, last season, on one of these podcasts, we dove into your 7 decades of performing experience. But this time, you're not appearing on stage. You're directing your first NST show. First, tell us about your previous directing experience.
Well, my previous experience was mostly with high school and junior high kids. And in fact, I got my first job because I could put together the school musical with the principal, and he said, I'll do the music. That's my first job.
So tell me what inspired you to step into the breach this time and direct our show coming up.
I have wanted to do this for a very, very long time. And, you know, for my health reasons, for COVID, for lack of a board, we were rebuilding. The time was never right. And having worked with this group of people for the last year or two, I said to myself, this can happen. And I put my name in. I had this vision for a show, and the board accepted it. And this is way back, back in May. And I started putting it together.
So let me first say, before we lose track of this, you've been with NST for 13, 14 years, is it?
Yes.
Okay. I wanted to make sure folks knew that. Now let's look a little more closely at your concept for the show and some of the content. I want to start with the title, though. What is meant by Happy Holidays, weather permitting?
I was affected in many different ways by the chaos that is going on in our country. And every day seemed to bring more anxiety. And I thought, if I want to escape, maybe I put together a show that makes a good place to go. And so I started just listing songs that were happy and that had a happy theme. The music moved. Maybe there was a little message in there, but it was meant to be happy. When I came up with the first title, weather permitting, that part, weather, E-A-T-H-E-R, meant that a lot of the happy songs had to do with weather. And it would move from the summer, get us to the holidays, which is the focus of the show. Then I thought, it's not going to be a religious focus because our audience, they will have so many choices in church services to get that music all the way through December. And we didn't have to compete with that. And that kind of freed things up.
What's it like being the director instead of the performer this time? What are the differences?
You can't be everybody's friend. You can't gossip about the director if you're the director. And having to make some hard decisions, which I didn't anticipate, but thank goodness there was such a strong board in place that now we were working together. And I sort of straddle both as a vice president and the director. So I was having to make some board decisions about the show. And that turned out to be very easy. And the cast is just so neat. And that doesn't mean they don't email you with ideas or, they had what they want for a blocking or some rendition of the song that really didn't fit your... It's really hard now to say no to friends. And I know the show, like we just started to run it. Our music director was gone for 5 weeks, so Audrey Perino, who's our treasurer, stepped in and took that on.
She's my wife, too.
Yes.
She wears many hats.
She's fantastic. And it was interesting, Mac today, he had to make his announcement, I'm the director, because it's hard to step in.
Yeah.
And you don't want to be compared to the past person. Not that you're better or worse, you're different. My style is really different because I've been a performer more than I've been a director. However, having been directed 80 times, I can pick and choose what works for me, And the rest is, I'm in the chapel, the rest is God's will.
So there have been some cast changes along the way. I should give some context here. We're recording this with a little more than a month to go before we hit the boards on November 19th. And we're a little over halfway through the rehearsal process. There have been some casting changes. Having Mac, our music director, on his honeymoon, which is a great thing to be on if you can't be in the rehearsal hall.
A year delayed, by the way.
That's right, a year delayed. Anyway, okay, we've sort of addressed those two curveballs, but I want to ask you if things otherwise have gone as you've expected, or have there been some surprises and some uh-oh moments?
I haven't seen uh-oh moments.
Good.
Thank you. This group of people, I don't think I ever would have made my directorial debut at this moment if I didn't have this group of people. Because almost everybody in the show is doing more than one job. And some have had family problems, funerals, illness. We have one member currently in the hospital. We're old, and but everybody has been so kind to one another, so energetic, so patient, so tolerant, that it's fun to come. And that's what I wanted. Not just a fun show for the audience, but I wanted a fun experience for the group, because who wants to spend 6 hours a week, being bossed around and, not getting to do what you think might be better and so on. So it's been very open, and I'm learning to say thank you, but no,
Well,
which is really hard.
it is. But
When you're going out for lunch with them later. Yeah. Okay.
That's true. That's true. All right, this is the moment. We're almost done. But before we go, tell folks what they can expect as members of the audience. Tell them about the show a little bit.
Okay. The show starts and ends with the cast in the audience. So the audience is invited to be part of this family that we've developed here. And from the first song to the last song, I want you to be smiling, singing along, quietly please, and leaving with hope. All those H's, happy, humor, hope. for a coming year.
And with that, we'll wrap things up, but we'll give it one more plug. Happy holidays, weather permitting, at Rise Church in Tigard, coming up November 19th to the 22nd. That's a Wednesday through Saturday at 2 p.m. each day. Very senior friendly. We want you out during the day, and we don't want you to have to worry about driving at night. It's $10. You can buy tickets online or at the door. And
that's very cheap therapy.
Excellent. Well put. Better than I could say. I was just going to say it's a bargain, but cheap therapy. That's the way to go. Jan, thank you very much for being with us today.
You're welcome.
And we will see you again shortly on NST Focus.